Blake Robinson takes it straight drop back, setting up a screen, an inside screen. They got a catch. Now there's a run, breaking open. Here comes the Demons for their first touchdown of this year. He's going to hand off to Ross. Ross is going to get tackled in the end zone for a safety. Robinson takes the snap, hands it off to Eduardo. Eduardo gets hit. Now he bounces off over to the left side. He's in for the score.
You're watching Dumas ISD TV.
Welcome to the Coaches Show with head football coach of the Dumas Demons, Aaron Dunnam. I'm Zane Powers. We're in week 3. Dumas Demons getting ready to take on the Perryton Rangers. Coach, last week the Demons were at home, faced who is now a top 10 team in Class 4A Division I in the Lubbock Estacado Matadors. It was a talented group that brought back a lot of experience. Almost at every spot. What did you learn about your team last week?
We learned a lot. We've learned so much in these last 2 weeks. We've played some really, really good football teams, and just our inexperience is continuing to give us our pretty much our Achilles heel. But we did what I did see is we saw some growth. Whether it looks like that to the fans outside, we did. There were some opportunities. Defensively, we came with some stops. There were about 4 possessions there, and what we also found out, just about our team is that we're not complementing each other really well on all sides of the football. So offensively, defense, we're not complementing each other, and that's something that we've got to continue to do. But we did see some growth in certain places. Just a really, really talented team that's gonna, as you stated, has everybody returning. They're super talented. They've got a lot of speed, and the big play is something else that's really caused us some problems. We've got to be more consistent. Our consistency is the key right now, because we did some things different from week 1 to week 2 that's going to benefit us if we'll continue to grow from that. But still, just the big play. The big play is really, really causing us some problems right now.
Coach, how does playing teams like Lubbock Cooper and Lubbock Estacado really kind of help you guys understand, what you need to work on?
For one, it exposes you. I just believe if you're not exposed and you don't, then you don't have the opportunity to work on some things that you need to do to get better.
Sure.
Sometimes if you're playing a team maybe of not those kind of caliber, the scoreboard might not look like it looks. It might protect us from maybe feeling the way that we feel, but I don't believe that it's setting us up for success late in the playoffs. I mean, I still talk to our team. We've got two major goals that we always start here: win a district championship. It's important to us, and making a long playoff run. And so these are the games that we're going to have to play if we want to make long playoff runs. And so number one, so it exposes us. It allows us to work on some things prior to getting to district.
Sure.
And then it allows us to see the caliber of teams that we will see deep in the playoffs.
You don't want to wait until district play or wait till the playoffs till you play these teams of this caliber, because then it's too late, right?
It is. It's too late. It's too late to fix some of the issues that you had, and they're going to, that it might hinder you from our two goals, of winning a district title. If this never surfaces, if you don't see these challenges and you don't see the things that you need to fix and get better at, they're going to surface in district play, which is going to hurt you from possibly winning a district title, and then it's going to hurt you from possibly even making playoffs and making long playoffs runs. So I'd much prefer to get these fixed right now and to have these challenges now, so we can work through them later in the season.
Coach, I know that one of the things that we've talked about is opportunities, and you have opportunities every week to get better. How's your opportunities been this week?
Huge. I mean, we've still got tons that we've got to work on. We're challenging our kids. I just actually got this week talking to our kids and had the opportunity to everything that we do. I mean, it's really not about the game of football. They're going to experience the same type of failure, the same type of defeat, the same type of confusion. They're going to experience this in life. And I really just challenged our kids to this week, and I just gave them an option. I said, explain to me something that's going to that you might be faced with in life that you're faced with right now. And so we're 0-2. We've lost 2 football games, but again, in the big scheme of things, they're football games. Yeah. And and our main goal is that we learn in life. So we talked about our kids. Hey, I might have applied for 2 jobs that I really, really wanted later in life that I thought that I deserved, or thought, so I lose that first job. I don't get it. You've got 2 ways to approach your second interview. Yeah. I can either pout, feel sorry for myself, say I deserve that job, I worked hard for it, I should have got it. Just like our first football game. We've gone to work since our first football game, and we've tried to work on some things we weren't very good at. And again, week 2, it hit us again. Sure. Same thing's going to happen in life. Yeah. So for those kids' second interview, what are we going to do? They told me I needed to work on this and I would get this second job. Well, I didn't get it. And so it's life. It's life, and our kids are learning, and we're going to continue to press into them in this manner and continue to make this all about life and opportunities. And we've got another one here. We've got another opportunity to fix some things that we fixed last week against a really good Perryton football team. Yeah.
Well, Coach, what are you looking forward to tonight from your team?
I just want to see us. I just want to see growth. I want to, I did see growth from week 1 to week 2. We're really in the second half. We started to do some good things. We scored 16 points, and really started to create some momentum. And so I want to see that. I want to see growth. I want to just see us get better. I want to see us fix some things that that we've struggled with in week 1 and week 2. And more than anything, I just want to see us play extremely hard. I've challenged our kids. I don't know that I see us playing as hard as we've played in the past, and there's a reason for that. There's some fear. There's some, there's some. Our kids have, currently we're setting 0-2. We haven't been setting 0-2 in a while, and so our kids are playing, a little bit afraid to make mistakes, uncertain. And so I want them to let all that go. I want them to let all fear of possibly maybe letting us down or letting their teammates down. Just let all that go and just play the game extremely hard and play fundamentally sound and see what happens.
Well, Coach, there are a couple 0-2 teams in this area, one of them being us, another one being Perryton, that I'm not sure a lot of people are going to want to face. And so Perryton is coming in this week. It's homecoming week. They are the school that we have played more than any other in school history. It's going to be the 85th meeting. Wow. Between our two schools. Dumas leads that series. I mean, it's virtually 50-50, but Dumas leads that series 43-40-1. What are you looking for out of tonight's opponent?
It's a great environment. This is a really good football game that's good for both of our communities. We're really close to each other, and again, it's been played a long time, and I think this game matters. And I know the type of football team we're going to get that's going to come in here tonight. I mean, we're going to get one that's going to play extremely hard. I've seen that on video. They are 0-2, but they're playing really, really hard. They've lost 2 close games by, one was by 3 points, the other one was by a touchdown, and so they're playing really good football, and they're going to come in here and they're going to get after it. This game has always been that way. No matter what our records are, no matter what teams we have, no matter how good either team is, this is going to be a game that's going to be a tough ball game all night long, and it's going to be played extremely hard by both by both teams.
Defensive side of the ball, what do you think is going to be key for the Demons as they face this Perryton offense?
Got a really talented quarterback, and I think just from week 1 to week 2, we got to eliminate the big play.
Sure.
We've got to make them earn everything that they get. That's like I said, that's been our Achilles heel right now. That's something that's really hurt us, is just the big play. I think if we eliminate that and we make them drive and put drives together and earn everything they've got, we've got to do a really good job of containing their quarterback. He's really talented. He was a good football player for him last year. He's a senior now, really experienced, does a great job running the offense. And so, eliminate the big play, contain him. That's both with his feet and with his arm, because he's really talented on both of them. So I think that's our key defensively.
Offensive side of the ball, what do you think is going to be key for the Demons to move the ball and score against this Rangers defense?
We have to be able to run the football. I say that every single week, but it's the honest truth. I mean, that's where we have our success. Running the football and putting drives together and creating first downs. That's a little bit that hurt us last week. We were able to we'd move the football and then a negative play, and so we've got to eliminate putting ourselves in holes offensively, whether that be a 4-yard loss by just a bust up front, or whether that be a penalty. We've got to continue to just put drives together, move the football, and then put the football in the end zone. When we have the opportunities, we've got to put it in the end zone. I don't think that's changed. I mean, because that helps us on both sides of the football. Anytime that we can run the football, possess it, get first downs, drive, it doesn't always have to end with points. I mean, even if you can flip the field, play good defense, eventually those are going to end up in points. So,
well, Coach, these games are big every single time that we've played against Perryton. Again, you mentioned this earlier, kind of alluded to it. Throw out what the records are.
Sure.
Throw out what anybody picks or what anybody really says. The emotion tends to come out in this rivalry between these two teams.
It does, and I mean that's the beauty of this game. It really doesn't matter where you're at, what you're doing, what type of football team you have. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're down, we're down, they're up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just going to be a game where you can throw all that out and you can really just maybe get back to the old school type of football and just play a very physical football team that's going to be rewarded by the team that makes the least mistakes. I mean, I think you can go back in this game and you can look throughout the years, and whether it's us or them. I mean, turnovers have been a big key in winning this game.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be with this. I mean, the team that that the least mistakes, the team that's able to to not turn the football over. Is going to be the one who's going to be successful at the end. So this is a really good game.
Coach, really looking forward to it tonight. Again, the fanfare of everything that goes on during homecoming week, I'm sure is always nice, but it's good, I think, for you guys again, especially for your young team to be able to experience and know how to handle still the game situation. And again, it's going to pay off for them, in life at some time too.
We're learning everything. I mean, everything that we're doing this year is about learning. I just challenge them too with all that's going on. That our kids are going to have to learn how to make sacrifices. there's a lot of fun things going on. I'm excited about that. I'm glad. I'm glad that it creates some energy and excitement for our community. But there are sacrifices that the football players have to give up at times, and this is another one. We've got to sacrifice. The possibility of maybe losing our focus, or the possibility of getting engaged in things that other kids can get engaged in that we just can't, because we've got to prepare and get ourselves ready for a football game. And so I'm excited for this opportunity to see how they experience and to see what they do with it. It's just another opportunity for growth.
Well, Coach, can't wait for it to kick off tonight. It's going to be a good one, going to be a fun one.
Yes, sir. I wore the same undershirt, I wore the same underwear, I wore everything on game day when I was a player. But
thank you for watching Dumas ISD TV. Be sure to check out these upcoming Dumas ISD events.
You're watching Dumas ISD TV.
All right, let's go on to some quick hits. Do you have any game day or pregame traditions that you kind of go through?
I really don't. I did when I was playing more, but
any special socks?
No, I wore the same undershirt, I wore the same underwear, I wore everything on game day when I was a player, but not as much as a coach. Sure. And so I just I guess tradition I have is just to get myself focused and get myself ready, try to create as much quiet time as I can, just to prepare my mind.
I think it seems like the older I get and kind of the more that we go through these things, to me, it's more of a timeline.
It is,
and I like the structure of the timeline of knowing, like, I'm going to have this done by this point. I need to have this done by this point. I need to be here at this point. And, and it just kind of gives that anticipation of what's happening.
Try to keep that all the same, because when you get off, that's when you start feeling a bit confused or a bit rushed So I agree with that.
All right, hey, this one's kind of a fun one. If you could have a superpower to use during a game, what would it be and why?
Maybe just I guess I'd like to. I'm a defensive guy, so if I had the ability to know what's coming, that would be the best superpower, I believe, ever in the game of football. Just to be able to know what was coming, and then maybe be able to have our kids in position. So again, I'm a defensive guy, so that'd be mine.
And I've been able to watch some games with you and be able to see kind of how quick you're able to pick things up. I'm still amazed at how you're able to watch things and kind of watch the environment of what's going on and what's happening, how fast you guys are able to pick up stuff. So
it does, and we've been able to do that better than we are currently this year. And I don't like to continue to harp on it, but it just is. That comes with experience, and as our kids get more and more experience with being able to make game time adjustments, halftime adjustments, and those type of things, we'll continue to get better.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received as a coach?
I guess it would probably be we call it keeping score. I think it's hard to do. We are like this by nature. We're very, very selfish people by nature. And so what I mean by that is, there's a lot of, everybody has a role, everybody has responsibilities, everybody has things that they do. There can only be one defensive coordinator, there can only be one offensive coordinator, there can only be one head coach. I've got a lot of coaches that are striving for that. A lot of players, which is the same. There can only be 11 guys that start. There can only be on each side of the football, and I know everybody has the desires to be that guy, but really just not to keep score and to just be where your feet are. Yeah. I think that's really tough. I think that's tough because of how we're made by nature. Sure. But if we'll have a love and compassion for others, and just be where our feet are, and try to control what we can control. Try not to worry about what's going on the other side. It's easy for us as human beings to look and wish and want what that guy has. When in all reality, God has placed us in a certain position, in a certain place, and in time, all of that other stuff will come. But just be in the moment, be where you're at right now.
That's good advice. Burning question, Coach. Lucky Charms or Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Lucky Charms. I like the little marshmallows. So I don't get those much, but my wife's not somebody that believes in we eat more of the healthy cereal than all that other stuff, and so it's been a while since I've got that. But Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms. All right. We're going to get into our game predictions, but NFL kicks off this week. You have any favorite NFL teams?
Cowboys, always.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty simple. I figured, but thought we might go there. We're just going to look at college football games this week, and there are some really, really good college football games this week. First one is number 12 Utah at Baylor.
Well, I don't know that I would pick it this way before, but after Baylor dropped one at home last week to Texas State.
Yeah.
And so, but again, I like finding out some of the information. I've also found out that Texas State is the second in the country with the most transfers.
Oh, really?
Behind Colorado as number one.
Oh, okay.
And so I think there's a reason why they've jumped on the stage right now of where they're at. I mean, they got a lot of transfers in there, and so Utah's a really good football team, and I think Baylor's coming off a really, really tough loss, and so they're going to have to try to bounce back from that, but I'm not sure they can do it. I'm going to go with Utah on that one.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think, you look at Baylor's a tough place to go play, and it's a unique place. They've got a great atmosphere there, but the way that some of these Pac-12 teams are playing right now, which is interesting because it's about to be no more.
I know.
Utah, who is going to be a future Big 12 opponent for Baylor. It's an interesting matchup. I think Utah, though, has the edge there.
I agree.
Playing well. This next one is a great rivalry game, and I think you're looking at one team that is kind of hoping for a good future, one team a little bit the same way, but kind of starting to realize it after how they played last week. It's Nebraska at number 22 Colorado.
I picked against Colorado last week, and so I've learned from that. I mean, I do think it's pretty neat, what's going on at Colorado right now.
Yeah.
I think Coach Prime has done a really, really good job of, if not anything, he's created some great excitement and energy.
Man.
And I think that place will be electric this weekend after what they did, after going into TCU, beating them at third place. They've got some super, super talented kids. And as we talk about those transfers as well, I've also heard that Colorado, which they were the number one in transfers, I've heard that they've got some more kids that just a few games will have the ability to play. And so I like what they're doing. I do love I love Coach Rule. I think he's in this business for the right reason. I think he's doing a really good job, but I'm just not for sure, that they're going to be able to come in at this moment right now in the environment that they're going to see at Colorado. And so I'm going to ride the wave. I'm going to get behind it. I think Coach Prime's doing some good stuff. I'm going to take Colorado.
I am too. Colorado really impressed me last week.
Sure.
Travis Hunter, I think, is the name of the wide receiver defensive back that played for him.
Everything.
Had 11 catches last week or something like that, and also had an interception on the goal line.
I've heard a bunch of different numbers too on the amount of snaps he's got. I've heard anywhere from 108 to 121 to 160, and so I do think he's a specialist as well. So all I know is that's pretty impressive. That's just not something that you see at the Division I level a lot, and I think it's really going to change the outlook of college football moving forward. I think you're going to find more and more players do this. I know it's changed ours. I mean, I talked to our staff about it. I talked to our kids about it. I mean, if we have a kid that can do this at the elite level Division I and play this many snaps, well, I think we can do it in Dumas as well. So I think it's going to change the way coaches look at that and playing two-way players.
For sure. Next one is a very interesting matchup. Number 20 Ole Miss at number 24 Tulane.
Tulane's really done some good stuff here lately, and really has been playing some pretty good football. And I don't know anything really right now about Ole Miss or either one of them, but I like the way that Tulane's been playing here in recent years, and it's at home, so I'm going to go with Tulane in this one.
I am too. It's not many times that you'd pick an SEC team to lose.
Sure.
To a group of 5 team.
Sure.
But Tulane's kind of one of those teams that's shown over the past few years, kind of like Boise State, that they're kind of out there on an island by themselves. But,
sure.
Man, they've been playing well.
They have. Yes, sir.
The next one's another just really good preseason non-conference matchup between 2 powerhouse teams. Number 23, Texas A&M, going to travel out to Miami and play at Miami.
Seen a lot of things with A&M here in the past, just really, they've struggled, maybe underachieved from time to time, but I think Texas A&M is going to have a really good football team this year, and I think they're going to have a great season, and I'm going to take Texas A&M in this one.
I think this one is tough, going out and playing at Miami.
Sure.
Again, Texas A&M to me, similar to Texas Tech, they ride the roller coaster.
They do.
Like you can watch them one week and go like, man, they are world beaters, and look at them the next week and go, I'm not sure they could compete with some Division II teams.
Sure.
But I agree. I think A&M's going to go out to Miami, and I think that just watching them last week,
yes, sir.
Highlights of who they played,
sure.
I thought they looked really good.
Yes, sir.
This one to me surprised me that neither one of these 2 teams are ranked because you've seen them ranked quite a bit, especially Auburn over the past few years. Auburn going to travel out, play a West Coast evening game at Cal.
I don't know a whole lot about either one of these, but I do know about the SEC, and so I picked against one up there already with Tulane and Ole Miss, but I'm not gonna do it twice. I'm gonna go with Auburn in this one.
I think so too. I think doesn't matter how far they got to travel, doesn't matter what time the game is.
Sure.
I think Auburn's going to show up against Cal. I'm going to be at this next game. It's probably one of the biggest games that Texas Tech has ever hosted, non-conference wise. Number 13, Oregon Ducks going to travel playing Lubbock on Saturday night.
I think that's a little tricky. I think if you look at it just right away, you'd very easily take your pick and pick Oregon.
Yeah.
But I do. I think this is going to be a little bit different. I think Texas Tech will, everybody has those games that they had week 1, traveling out to Wyoming and played a very, very tough, disciplined Wyoming team and lost a close one on the road. I think Texas Tech will play a lot better, but I'm not for sure, that they've got the ability to compete with this. They could surprise me. It's tough to play at Texas Tech. That home crowd's going to come out and they're going to support really, really well, and it's going to be a lot different for Oregon to come out to a place out here in West Texas like that. Oregon scored, I think they scored like 81 points last week.
Yeah, they did.
So I don't know. I think it'd be tough to pick Texas Tech, and so I'm going to take Oregon in this one.
Well, I can't. I'm not going against Texas Tech. I think like you said, the atmosphere is going to be insane.
It will be.
The atmosphere in Lubbock is different from morning to afternoon, and then those evening games.
Sure.
It will be hot at kickoff. It's going to be steamy. It's because it's 6 o'clock still. But as the lights go out, that place just gets crazy. Lubbock after dark.
I know.
And so looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. They've got the new LED lights and all that kind of stuff that's going on. This game has been circled for a while.
Sure. And just working through a lot. The construction's going on of the new stadium and moving the band, and I think Texas Tech will use that to their advantage.
I do too. So I'm looking forward to that one. I'm going to pick Texas Tech because those are my boys.
Sure.
The last game is what all the eyes in college football and in America are going to be on Saturday night. Another unbelievable atmosphere in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The number 11 Texas Longhorns going to be traveling to the number 3 Alabama Crimson Tide.
I think that was a very tough game, that you last year. You talk about, the Texas heat. They came into Texas last year in a really tough environment. It was wild. The stands were packed, and I think that was one of the. I heard some Alabama players even say that was one of the toughest environments that they had ever played in. And they came out on top. I don't know. I think Alabama's different this year. I think I watched a Texas team not handily beat Rice, but at times didn't look real stellar against a Rice football team. And I think it's going to be really, really tough for Texas to go into Alabama and come out with a win. So I'm definitely going to take Alabama in this one.
Yeah, Alabama. Just year after year, it's funny. I just watched the highlights of their game as well. But just seeing how they can plug and play.
Sure.
It's like new guys, new position. You got new guys in all these different spots, but it just seems like they are just like a machine.
They are, and there was a really big question mark at the quarterback position, of just what would they do, and I think this guy's going to be really special. He's throwing the ball better than he had thrown it. He's a dual threat guy, and I really think he's going to be electric this year and do some really good things for Alabama.
And they've had some guys in the past, that have been able to run and get out of the pocket a little bit. Most of their quarterbacks have been pocket guys. Mm-hmm. This guy, it just
dual threat.
Brings a whole new dimension to that offense.
He does. Really, really dual threat, and I think he's going to really be a good football player this year.
Well, Coach, again, thanks for joining us. It's, again, going to be a fun week as we play Perryton, 85th all-time matchup. Mm-hmm. What I feel like is one of the best rivalries in the Texas Panhandle.
Sure.
Looking forward to this one tonight.
I am too. Really excited about it. Really excited about our community coming out and supporting our kids and just watching our kids compete and just get better. So I'm excited about that.
Well, thanks for joining us. This has been Zane Powers and for Coach Dunnam. Looking forward to a big one tonight. Looking forward. Kickoff is next.
You're watching Dumas ISD TV.
Hey, this is Zane Powers, and welcome to this week's Behind the Mask. Today, I'm joined by another Dumas Demon football player. I'll have them introduce themselves, and we'll get started. So tell everybody your name, number, and your position.
My name is Luis Escarcega. I'm a running back, and my number 2.
All right, and who is your position coach?
My position coach is Coach Sheldon.
All right, Coach Sheldon. Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions, and you just tell me the first thing that pops in your mind.
Yes, sir.
Who is the fastest player on offense?
Fastest player, I would have to say myself.
Okay, I was wondering.
I would have to say myself.
I thought it might be you. Okay, what about on defense?
Defense, I would have to give that to Emmanuel Marquez.
Okay.
He's pretty explosive.
Emmanuel is pretty quick. Okay, think about this. If the coaches were to race, who would win?
Oh. I would have to give that to Coach Sheldon.
Coach Sheldon,
Coach
okay.
Sheldon.
You can give that to your position coach. That's a good philosophy to have.
Sir.
All right. A dance battle breaks out in the locker room. What player wins?
I would have to say Jacob Signs or Nono Hernandez.
Okay, yeah. All right, what about what coach? What coach can have the best moves?
That's Coach Div. That's
Coach Div. Coach Div, okay.
Coach Mo.
Yeah, I can see that. What songs we find on your playlist? What do you listen to before the game?
I would listen to like Lil Baby or Gunna.
Okay.
Yeah, around there.
All right. Which stadium do you most enjoy playing on the road?
On the road, I would say Ralph Rich Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about which one do you least enjoy playing in?
I would say Estacado.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Down at Lubbock. All right. These are going to be kind of rapid fire questions. Teammate most likely to be a bodyguard?
I would have to give that to Zach Porras.
Okay.
Zach Porras.
All right.
Yeah.
Teammate most likely to be in the NFL?
I would give that to Johnny Gutierrez.
Oh, all right. JG. All right. Coach most likely to hurt themselves celebrating your game-winning touchdown?
Coach Mo. I'll give that to Coach Mo. I'll give that to Coach Mo.
All right. Teammate most likely to drive for NASCAR.
Myself.
Is it you? Okay. Teammate most likely to make the huge block on your way to the end zone.
I'd make that to Keegan Hernandez.
Okay.
Keegan Ireland.
Keegan Ireland. All right. Coach most likely to tell a corny dad joke.
Coach Green. Coach Green.
Going back to junior high.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Coach Green. All right, these questions are going to be a little bit more serious. You guys play in a lot of big games. Who keeps the locker room loose for you guys?
I would say Lubba Cooper, yeah.
Okay. What is there any special reason that you wear the number that you wear?
Not really. I just find a single digit.
Okay. It's like a single digit for the running back?
Yes, sir.
All right. What senior teammate or teammates is going to have a big season this year? Which one of the seniors do you think is going to have a big year?
Well, I feel like all of us are trying to have a good season. We strive to have like a good season.
Yeah.
But I would have to give that to Cole. He's very hardworking.
Cole? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. What about a guy nobody's heard of yet that's going to have a big season, maybe their first year on varsity?
Dustin Coe.
Oh, yeah.
Outside linebacker.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right there. Last question. What has football taught you about life?
Football taught me so much. It taught me about being dedicated, that hardworking puts everything out for you, and not everything is certain to you, but as long as you put hard work, you have what you deserve.
All right. Well, thanks, Luis. Thanks for joining us. You got to catch him this year. Big running back, number 2.
Yes, sir.
You're watching Dumas ISD TV.